Hello everyone, Uber Dante here, and I'd like to show off my new word game, a one-card letter hopping game called Alpha Hop. This is an entry in Board Game Geek's 2023 one-card contest. Let's take a look at the card. It's double-sided with an 8 by 11 grid of letters on each side. And in addition to letters, there are also stars, which act as wilds. Some squares are filled in and some are empty, but for the base game, there's no difference between the two types. The grid contains letters commonly found not only in English, but in many other languages as well. So I suppose you could play this in German or Spanish or other languages. If you do, let me know how it goes. For this video, I'll be using an alternate card so as not to give any clues to would-be players. Although the game is replayable as is, after the contest I hope to create a deck of maybe 9 cards to provide even more variety. The game plays a bit like Boggle, where each turn you are looking for words in the grid, moving in any direction from letter to adjacent letter. For example, just starting from this G, you can find the word gamer, G-A-M, wild, R. If you replace the star with an E. And as you can see, adjacent means both orthogonally and diagonally. However, Alpha Hop does one thing different. In Alpha Hop, you'll be blocking out squares each turn, and then using those blacked out squares, I'm calling them hop squares for the time being, using those hop squares to essentially connect squares that were not previously adjacent. So if I cross out this M, then G and O are now adjacent. G and T are adjacent. So each turn you must black out a square, and each turn you must find a word that traverses your blacked out square, your hop square. You may also use any previously placed hop squares, and in doing so you'll score a point for each letter square and each hop square used. So let's just jump right in to a game and you'll see how it's played. To start, player A will black out this letter P here, and they will try to make a word starting from this S here. So from this S, they can use the hop square to move to any of these adjacent squares. The star, the E, the N, the O, or the W. However, they are not allowed to use the hop square to move here to this U or here to this E, because those squares are adjacent to the S. So you can only use the hop square to move to a non-adjacent square. So some possibilities, they could go S-H-E-D for shed. They could go S-E-N-D-I-N-G, sending. They could do snow here. They could do sold, S-O-L-D. They could do S-W-A-G, swag. Let's go with sending, which scores 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 points. Great. Player B then blacks out this D. Also starting from the S, although they can start from anywhere, they move to this E. And now I'd like to introduce the double letter rule. So any square can be used as either a single letter or a double letter. However, you only get points for the letter square itself, so a double letter will only net you 1 point, not 2. So player B uses the E as a double letter, hops over, goes to the K, hops over there, hop square, and ing for seeking. This also scores 8 points. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now it's player A's turn. They block out this I. And they form the word shrunken. S-H-R-U-N-K-E-N. So 1 point here is that you can revisit letter squares on a turn. like player A did for this letter N. The only rule is that your path has to keep moving forward, either going straight or turning, but the path cannot go backwards. So for example, I couldn't move from this R to this E and then back to the R. You can't go backwards, but as long as you're going straight or turning, that's fine. And so visiting this N twice is fine, but again, you only score for the total number of letter squares and hop squares used. So the N is only counts once, and shrunken scores 9 points. Okay, let's take a few more turns quickly now. Player B plays here and finds the word aligned for 8 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The D for aligned is on a wild card. The wilds do not score points, so they don't get the 9th point for that. It's 8 points. Player A then finds, they're going to black out this J, and they find the word handsome, H-A-N-D, hop square, S-O-M-E. So that uses 4 hop squares to score 9 points, even though they use 2 wild. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, player B finds, let's see, T-R-O-L-L-E-D, trolled, which is worth only 7 points. Player A finds S-T-R-E-A-M-I-N-G. They find this word streaming, but they need to place a hop square. So they actually put it here and use this star as an R. So the S-T-R-E-A-M-I, they could go I-N-G, but they're going to go I-N hop G. And that will give them 10 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, they don't get a point for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So they're doing good. And finally, player B plays kittens, K-I-T-T-E. N-S. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points again. And that marks the end of the 4th round. One game lasts 6 rounds, so the players have a couple of turns left, but we'll end the playthrough there. You may be asking yourself if the game is replayable once players are aware of what's on the board, and I actually think it is. Although the board starts the same, once players start blocking out letters, the options available to the players change. However, you can try the following variants. So number 1, if you're playing a second or third game, don't allow words that were used in previous games. And there are plenty of words to be found, so this shouldn't be a problem. Number 2, restrict players' choices using the filled and unfilled squares. So for example, every word has to begin with a filled square or an unfilled square. Or every word has to begin and end with a filled square, and so on, different combinations. Finally, Alpha Hop can be played solo. Simply take 10 turns and try to beat your score. Alpha Hop is free to print and play, and there's also an online version, so I hope you'll check it out. Links are in the description, and thanks for watching.